What is up, gang? Welcome back to Top That Magic. Today we're going to be going over card fans and card one-handed cuts, which is just going to bring your magic to the next level. We're going to be going from here all the way up to there. And really, I think flourishes are awesome because they really help you, even if you're doing a simple trick, to really make people just be like, wow, you know, like they can just tell that you have skill, and it just really engages people more. So that's what we're going to be going over today. Also, stay tuned. I am going to be posting another video in a few days, which is going to be going over the double lift and the pinky, what is that called? But anyways, guys, that is going to be the double lift and the pinky break. Sorry that I couldn't remember that for some reason, but that is what I'm going to be doing. And as well as this, also, I'm going to be trying to make a new video pretty soon about coin assembly and matrix. It will probably just be a performance, but stay tuned to that. I've been realizing and noticing that I'm getting a lot more views on performances, so it seems that that's what you guys like, so that's what I'm going to give you. But make sure that you hit like and smash subscribe if you like this video or the ones that I'm going to be posting. I am posting every week, so make sure that you support me so I can keep posting. Thank you so much, and let's get right into the first video. Alrighty, you all. So, getting into the first one, which is going to be the thumb fan. So basically, let me give you a basic of how it works. Because this one, like I said, these aren't going to be too long tutorials because honestly, it's pretty simple once you get the basics. Basically, with this, you're going to be holding it in a standard, just normally I start just holding it in a standard dealer grip. These three fingers, the pinky, ring finger, and middle finger along the side. First finger at the top and thumb along the left side. And of course, this is because I'm right-handed. I know it looks like it's my left hand, but obviously it's my right hand if I'm facing straight. But anyways, basically how it would work is you have a little bit of a different grip. So when I start, I'm just holding the cards, obviously I have that. But then I move to a different grip. Basically, this is it. So generally, I have about 2 or 3 fingers that the deck is not covering, and I'm using my first finger and thumb to hold the deck on top of either just the first finger, or sometimes I'll also have it in the middle finger, whichever one I just grab it into. It doesn't really matter. Basically, the simplest way to put this is that your thumb is pulling all of the cards around, right? So that was slow, and obviously it does look better if you do it fast. You get more cards. It just looks more smooth. But really, that's all you're doing. You're holding pressure, and you're using your middle finger and thumb to almost like push this way, right? Like you're pushing with these. I'm sorry, your middle finger and your ring finger are pushing this way. They're like pushing against the deck, the cards, while your thumb is pulling that way. So it's almost like it does like it works together, but mainly they're just there to support your thumb because your thumb is doing most of the actual fan motion. So that's literally all you have to practice, is going from here to here in this position. There's like the 2 fingers, and then just using your thumb to pull it down. And really, it's awesome. It's an awesome move. It's great for doing really a lot of tricks, and it's a great move that I think you should definitely take the time to learn. It's not too hard. I mean, obviously it takes practice, but it's really not that hard to learn, and it can bring great effects. One other cool thing that you can learn is after you do the fan, if you want to make it look almost like it's closing on itself. It's not like that fooling, but it's something that I learned, which is basically after you do the fan, all you're gonna be doing is taking your first finger and just sorry, let me redo it. My bad. Is you're taking your first finger and doing that, and it's literally just gonna close out the deck. So it's basically like you're doing a fan in reverse. You're using your fingers to just pull it forward, and it's kind of hard to explain because I'm used to not looking while I do it, but it's really cool when you get the hang of it because it almost looks like you're taking the fan, you're spreading it, and then it's just closing by itself. So just another thing you can work on if you want to. It's just another, like, I forget the name for it, but those like tiny details that make it look better. So that is the first one. Now let's get into another type of fan. This is called the one-handed fan. So it looks kind of like that, or you can do it with the left hand. I'm not as good, but, and the cool thing too, you don't need a certain amount of cards. Like generally I'll do like that with that many, but you can literally do it with one hand with just the entire deck. Like this is, as you guys can see, 52 cards, and I can fan the entire thing. It doesn't really matter. Or like I do a lot, you can do 2, right? It doesn't matter, but how do you do it? So basically, you're going to be taking your, I would tell you to start with just like half the deck, because it's harder the more cards you have. Basically, you're going to be holding your, I'm right-handed, so I actually do the motion with my right hand. Obviously, like I said, I do both, but I learned it doing right-handed, and if you're left-handed, you can just do it the other way. But you're going to be holding it. I generally have these 3 fingers, my first finger, middle finger, and ring finger on the bottom, and then the thumb goes right on the bottom left corner, because the thumb, just like with the thumb fan, is what's going to be doing that shoving motion. But you do use the back fingers. Basically, what's happening, these 3 fingers are pushing this way, while my thumb, which is on the front, is pushing, it's going to be pushing that way, right? So thumb pushes that way, and these fingers push this way. And it's doing it at the same time, so that you can see, I can try and angle it like this. They're pushing, it's kind of hard because it gets in the way. But you can see that these are pushing this way at the same time that this one's pushing that way, right? So now my fingers are over here, and this thumb is over here, right? So it's kind of, you're doing that pushing motion. And one thing that I would tell you to make sure that you don't do it, that's something that I did, I would hold it really close, and so then I would try and do it, and I could get it, but I would only get like this much, and I wanted a full however many cards I could get. And really having it as close to the tips as possible is going to give you more range of motion, so you're not like that, you're like that. You see what I mean? So it's just a minor detail, but it is something that it really helped me to do. And the left hand is generally the same. The only thing I do differently, which most people, and kudos to them if you can do that, they do the same thing like what I did with the right hand, where I just take it into the fan. A lot of people can do that with their left hand. And I wasn't planning on learning it, but it is helpful so that you can do like both. But something I have to do that's a little bit different, I do kind of like a pivot into it. That's how I do it. So let me do it where you can see it. I'm holding the deck, and I do a pivot into the fan. So what that means, and you don't have to do this, it just helps me, but I use my middle finger and thumb to almost like flick the cards like this, which then gets my thumb going for the spin. Because I had trouble just doing it this way. Like, I can do it now because I've been practicing so much. But when I first started, it was hard, so I would do like a pivot into the fan. And I'm sorry if that looks bad. Maybe like that. See what I mean? And so, again, you don't have to do that. This is all about finding your own style and doing whatever you want. And ultimately, even now, I don't generally do a one-handed spread with all of the cards. Normally, maybe I'll just do one. I'll be like, go ahead, pick a card, right? Whatever cards you want. If I'm going to use the whole deck, a lot of times I'll just do a fan, or I'll just spread. Because honestly, spreading is really good too. Okay, so this next one is called the Charlier cut and the Revolution cut. So basically, this is what the Charlier cut looks like, and the Revolution is like an add-on. Sorry, give me 1 second. The Revolution cut is like an add-on where you take the deck and you spin it and then you do it. So those are the two I'm going to be teaching you in regards to cut-wise. Basically, how do we do it? So you're going to be holding the deck in an elevated dealer's grip. So it's the same thing that you would normally have in a dealer's grip, only it's elevated, so I'm holding them up more. The only thing is, a lot of people will have their pinky back here. I tend to choose to have it on the side when I do this trick. I mean, I do this move, but you don't have to, really. And honestly, you don't have to elevate it either. It's just when you're first learning, it's a lot easier. But once you get it down, like, I can just do it right here and hold it. But I do agree it can be a lot harder if you don't have as much space. But then, as for me, I mean, I can see it being easier or harder either way. So really, like I said, find your style. It was the same with when I was teaching you the past one, which was the thumb or the one-handed fan. How I was saying that you really just got to find what works best for you. So generally, I'll just do it from dealer's grip. But when you're starting, it might be easier to do elevated. Okay, so sorry, I'm rambling. What's happening, right? So basically, you're holding the deck, and your thumb is going to be shoving up, okay? And it's going to be holding a pack of cards against your 3 fingers, right? These 3, your pinky, ring finger, and middle finger. So it's being pressed between those 3 and the thumb, right? Now, the other thing that's happening at the same time is your first finger, which is not being used currently, is going to be shoving this other packet all the way up, and it's being pressed against this card so it doesn't go anywhere, all the way up until it hits your thumb, in which case your thumb comes off this part, and which lets that fall, you move your first finger and you square everything up, right? And fast, it looks like that, or you can do it like that. You can hold it down, or you can just let it fall. Either way. So again, right? I'll do it slowly. The thumb goes up. It's being pressed against these 3 fingers, right? The first finger is pushing up till it hits that thumb. Let go. I pull it up a tiny bit more, so now it's cleared. Then I move my first finger out and let go of everything with the thumb. Here is another angle from the side. And finally, I'll do one more angle from here. You can see everything that's going on. And so that is the Charlier cut. And again, make sure that you practice, guys. This won't be instantaneous, but when you practice it, you will get it down for sure. Now, the next one is the Revolution cut. So it's based off of the Charlier cut. When you have the Charlier cut down, you will be able to do this a lot easier. So what's different? So you're still pushing up. The only difference is you don't immediately go into this, because what you're actually going to be doing is using your first finger, and you're moving. I'm already moving my middle finger here, my ring finger, and pinky here, because I'm going to be using my thumb to pull this part up, which would then, so basically, I have it here, and I'm going to start to pivot it like this, right? So I put my first finger here. So generally when I start, my first finger is here. As soon as that thumb goes up, I'm moving my first finger to the edge so that I can use my first finger and thumb as a pivot. I pivot it, and as soon as I'm in this position where I have the first finger and middle finger over here, ring finger here, and pinky here, I'm letting go of my thumb because these are holding it. My thumb comes over here, and it starts pressing down because at this point, they're stopped from doing much pivot because of this part of the deck. So I'm pushing up, which is pulling. I'm using my first finger and my first finger and my thumb to pull this part up. It clears, and I'm using my first finger still to shove it, and then I come over with the pack that my thumb was holding. So once again, I'll do it fast, and then I'll do it slowly. So I'm grabbing, and bam. And again, you have to be careful you don't drop the cards, because I've had that happen before, especially when I was first practicing it, and even now. But like that, right? So once again, slowly. Thumb goes up, put my first finger here, wait till I'm in this position, grab with the thumb, I start turning everything, and then I square everything up. And that is going to be the Revolution cut. Alrighty, so this next one is going to be a false cut. And you might ask, like, why you need to know this. Well, false cuts are actually really good. So for example, my main card routine, I have someone select a card, okay? I show it to them, and this is the Queen of Spades. And generally I won't look, but in this instance it's okay if I know. I'll get it lost like this, right? And then I'll ask them, like, what's the fastest time you think I can, it would take me to find your card, right? And they guess, maybe they say 10 seconds. And I tell them I'm gonna try 2 seconds. Ready? Watch. There's the first second. That's not it, right? No, that's the Joker. And the second, which sounds kind of funny, is when I give it a rub and it changes into yours, right? And again, that was the Erdnase color change. Make sure to check out my video where I show that. But and then I'll follow it up with maybe like I get the card lost in the deck and it comes back to the top, or maybe I'll do like a I don't know, maybe just like do where they shuffle the cards and then I show that it actually appeared inside my pocket, something like that. It really doesn't matter, but basically a lot of those, so for example that last one where it appeared in my pocket, as well as the top when it came to the top, all those relied on a false cut, because basically what a false cut is, in case you're wondering, is where you're either choosing to keep the top stock, which is the top card, that's what they call it, or the bottom stock, which is the bottom card, or all of the cards, right, all of the stocks, you're choosing to keep them in the same position. So basically, let's say I have this top card, if I wanted to do a false cut, I would do one that kept it, even though you think it got mixed up, it kept it on top. I could also do the same with the bottom card, see it's the 10 of hearts, and I could just do this, get it lost just like this, and you can see it's still in the bottom, and that actually also didn't mess up any of the cards at all. So that's what a false cut is, right? So now let me teach you it. So there's 2 ways to do this, depending on what you want to do. Most of the time, like in the routine I showed you, I only wanted to keep the top card on there. I didn't care if the bottom card or the rest of the cards got messed up, as long as I kept that top card on top, right? So what did I do? So first I have them select a card, right? And I'll just walk you through my routine. This time it's the 10 of clubs. I put it on top, right? And what I'm gonna do so that it's better for explanation and teaching reasons is I'll keep it face up so you can see it at all times, right? The first thing I do is I actually cut that. So you're gonna need to learn a scissor cut if you don't already know that. I'll do a quick run by. Basically, you're gonna be holding it with these 2 fingers and your thumb. I mean, you don't have to, but that's how I hold it. And then you're gonna be using your first finger to scissor cut or pull away a chunk of cards so that you can keep doing that, right? And keep cutting them. So that is what you need to learn first. If you don't know that, make sure to check out, I believe there's a bunch of magicians that have done tutorials. I might do one in the future, we'll see. But yeah, so you scissor cut a chunk of cards, or if you don't want to learn that, you can just, I don't know, like grab a chunk and put it in your hand and hold the rest, right? It doesn't matter, but scissor cut is the easiest way. So yeah, so you put a chunk of cards in your hands, and now I go to do it again. But this time I keep a pinky break, right? And if you don't know what that is, it's just where you're sticking your pinky in the chunk where your cut is, but you're holding it so like from the front, you can't see that I have a break. And obviously I normally wouldn't have such a big break. I'm just showing you guys, but normally from the front, you can't see that I have a pinky break at all if I'm holding the cards right. And even from the top view, you can't really see anything, right? Basically, what that allows me to do is when I put the rest of the cards on top, now I have a break between all of the cards and the chunk that has my 10 on top, right? And I'm still holding that break. And then I just do a swivel cut, I believe is the name, where I just take these cards and I put them to the bottom. And now what I've done, which they wouldn't know because it'd be face down, but what I've done, as you can see, is I've kept that 10 on top, right? So I'll do it again really fast this time. Well, I'll do one face up and then I'll do it face down, right? So you can see I'm doing it like this, and it's still on top, and then here's face down, and you can see why it totally looks like it should be getting mixed in there, but of course it's on top this whole time. So that is the first variation. I'm sorry if you guys are having trouble, but just keep practicing it. Rewatch the video, you will get it eventually. Now here's the second variation. This is if you want all of the cards to stay the same. I don't generally need to, so I don't always use this, but that way you can have the same like cut sequence, but just a tiny bit different, okay? Here's how it works. So I have the 10 on top still, right? If I don't want to mess up any of these cards, what I can do, I still cut the first one, okay? That goes right here. And I still cut the second when I catch a break. But this time, when I go to put this one, I don't just put it on top. What I do is and I'll see if I can show this, I grab the second chunk as I put this down. And then I put it on top and I do it. And what that means is that bottom card, here I'll do it again. So ace of spades on the bottom, 10's on the top, right? You can see if I do it that way, like that, you can see the ace is still on the bottom, the 10 is still on the top, and every other card is the same, right? So let me go through that again. First cut here, second cut, you grab a break. Third cut, you grab that second one as you put down the third, put it back on top, and swing everything underneath. Okay, and so I'll do it once more, but this time what I'll do is I'll show you, I'll keep, just to show you that it really does not change anything, I still have the 10 on top and I still have the ace on the bottom, but what I'll do also is I'll take a chunk of cards in the middle and I'll turn them over, and I want to show you that they will not get messed up at all, right? So I give it a cut, so this is the top, right? I go here, I go here, pick up, put on top, and put underneath. And you can see not only do we still have the ace here, we still have the 10 here, but you can see if we go down that we still have that chunk of all face up cards that did not get messed up at all. So it really does work, guys. I'm not just making this up. It isn't random. It will work every time as long as you do it right. And so maybe if you're having trouble remembering which one is which, take a piece of paper or a playing card if you have a blank playing card and just write T for top, B for bottom, and something for middle. Put it in a certain spot and try and keep doing the cut and making sure that everything is completely normal, right? So just do that. Just do it over and over, right? Like this. And see, do you have B on bottom? Do you have T on top? And do you have M in the middle still? And just see if you did it. And just keep practicing, guys. Because honestly, even if you're doing this, right, and you're like, yeah, I already got it down, you have to make it fluid, and you really have to make people believe that you're actually messing it up and that you're really shuffling and cutting the deck apart, right? It's same like if you want to do a shuffle and you want to keep that card on top, right? You don't want to obviously be doing it. You don't want to be like, okay, hold on, let me shuffle the cards and I'll get them really mixed up, and you do it here, and there's all of these, and then you put it on top. Like, okay, he's obviously trying to not cover that top card, but if you do it like this, where every card is getting mixed up like that, whoops, sorry, I messed it up, let me try that again. If you do it like this, where every card is getting mixed up, right, it's still gonna look good, and they're not gonna know that you were keeping that 10 on top. Alrighty, you all, thank you so much. That is going to be it for today. Make sure to smash subscribe and like if you enjoyed this video, and make sure to be on the lookout. I am going to be doing a video, like I told you, about the double lift and pinky break, so make sure to check that out and be on the watch for that. Make sure that you turn on notifications, and thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.